the Arri 650. Should you buy one? Hey, what's up guys? Tobias Mugg from Lit Video Productions. Today we're going to talk about the Arri 650, whether or not you should buy one. Is it still relevant in 2019? Because it is May 2019 when we're shooting this video. And I tell you what, yes, definitely. It's still an awesome unit. It's still definitely something that you want to be using. It's great in your arsenal. But we can talk about the pros and cons and what brought on this video today. Let me just give a shout out real quick. I'll pull it up on my phone. Excuse me if I destroy your name, but Garanex G, is that how we say it? He asked me a question on my Arri 650 light test video. What ISO are you using? Can you please make a video just using the lights that you are testing, given the ISO info with you in front of the camera or a model that we can see how the lights really work? I responded basically, yeah, let's do that. I asked him what kind of camera he's using, and he said that actually on a Canon T3i, but I'm going to buy the BMPC, the Blackmagic Pocket camera, and I want to be sure about the power of light because I'm thinking about getting the 650 as well. Well, I tell you what, guys, if you're finding a used 650 on the market, you're gonna find a great price for it. I mean, LEDs, they're expensive. Fluorescents can even be expensive, and there are still tons of great lights out there that are still usable. Let's step into the cons real quick. Number one, it's hot. These things get really hot. So that means if you're on a set, you probably need to have air conditioning running. We have air conditioning running right now, and the only reason why is because we're actually using a 650 to light this production today. But you need to have air conditioning running, or if you don't, everyone's gonna be sweating. What does that mean? You're either gonna have your makeup artist doing more work, or people in suits, if you have politicians, or esteemed people that wanna be wearing suits, it just destroys them. So that's one of the drawbacks. Another con, because it is tungsten, when you put it on a dimmer, you're gonna lose your color temperature. So you're at 3,200 degrees Kelvin to begin with. Depending on your lamp. Some lamps might vary a little bit, how old they are, how new they are. But as you dim down the power, you're actually gonna lose some of or not lose, but your color temperature will change. So your light will start getting warmer. So that's another downside. Now there are ways to dim it without that, but we'll get into that later. What's one of the other cons that we have of this light? Battery. So obviously no battery. If you're in the field, this thing needs power. You got to plug it in somewhere. You're going to need some kind of stinger run to it from a Jenny or from wherever, but you need a power source to turn it on. So there is that. That's pretty much it as far as I'm concerned. It can still do an incredible amount. I mean, the fact that it's focusable, you have your focus ring right here, but being able to go from a spot to a focus is huge. This one you can down lamp. So you got your 650 lamp in it, but you can also put the 300 watt lamp. The lamp from the 300, Arri 300 can go in here. So you can still get the same spread and usability out of the same instrument, but almost a little less than half the power, which honestly, a lot of times, the 650 is a great output. So to answer your question about ISO and all of that, the Arri 650 puts out a ton of power. It really does. Today, we're shooting this with a 650 just to show you actually being used. I'm shooting with 3 cameras actually. We've got a wide camera back there, just so you guys can kind of see our setup. I'm using one light right now. It's just one 650. I'll flag it right there. And we're just shooting it. We're bouncing it off a piece of foam core. Put you down. Bouncing it off just a regular piece of foam core. We can see that on our wide camera that I picked up from a hobby store. So you asked the question about ISO. Rule of thumb, you want to stick with your camera's native ISO, and you'll see jumping from like a DSLR like the T3i to the Blackmagic Pocket Cam, once you start shooting cinema, how much dynamic range you're going to be able to pull out of your shot. You're gonna start getting blown away. It'll take a little while to get used to grading it and working with it, but you're gonna be really blown away with how well the cameras perform when you use them to that level. But stick within your ISO. that is native to your camera, and that's where it's gonna perform the best. Now, saying that, of course, we still mess with ISO. If you're out somewhere, you're running gun, you need to crank it up, whatever it is. With the C100, when I change it, I have to make sure I do auto black balance again. So, I mean, there's steps and there's different things that you have to do. So, this camera right now, the C100, set on 850. What's our f-stop? For the C100. We're at f5. I'm using a 24-105 L series glass, the first version. Yeah, 850 ISO. Shutter is at 180 degree. We're shooting at 30 frames per second. Those are sets. Yeah, 24-105 lens on a Canon C100 Mark I. It's only the f4 lens, but at f5. And then I've got right here, I got a Canon T6i. That's at ISO 400. ISO 400, what's our f-stop? We're at 5.6. We're using the stock lens on it. It's so we're like a 38, somewhere around a 38 millimeter on it pushed in. It's at 5.6 f 400. What did you say? 400 ISO. There we go. And then our XC10 is cranking in the back. That's on 500 ISO. The f-stop is 3.7, and it's pretty wide right now. 35, 30 or something like that, 28. You said 48? Oh, well, actually, it's pretty close to 50 millimeter. But so, how do I use the 650? Beyond, like, the best thing about having an instrument like this is versatility. You can always get a speed ring, you can throw a softbox on there. Obviously, it's more money you got to invest. You only get about 300 hours out of your lamp, so make sure you have a second lamp on standby. They're about $17 a piece. It's not too bad. We use this mostly as different backlights to light different scenes. We're using this with like fog machines. Just we get a lot of atmosphere in the air, and it can really just cut through and give us nice hard lines that are just beautiful. If I'm lighting like a panel and I just need some light just to pop in a little more, I'll put one on the other side, 45. And I'm showing you guys some footage. I'm just gonna show you B-roll of different events that we shot using the 650. If I was shooting outside, I could put CTB on this to cool it down, and it's gonna give you a nice punch. So that's where, there's more versatility in it. Lakeem, let's go ahead, we'll switch spots. So I'm gonna start talking to this camera here, guys. I've got a barfly floating overhead just to kind of give me some light while I'm in this position. And we'll get Lakeem to sit down. So now I put Lakeem on he's at 5'6". I actually stepped down. I have a darker shirt on representing local comic book company, Third Eye right here. Awesome shirt. But as you guys can see, this setup right here, I did it really simple. I mean, I do have a lamp here on in the background just for a little bit of atmosphere, but we have our 650 here, and we're kind of spotted in. That's full spot, and I'm just gonna widen it out, and you can kind of see the difference on Lakeem's face. Yeah, I'm sure, right? I'm probably flaring out one of the cameras, but this is just to show you how much power we're doing this, and this was just to kind of prove that. I mean, we're doing it with one light, and yeah, it's actually a little brighter right now. We need to widen it out. We're doing it with one light, and it's just a piece of foam core to bounce it in. And we're getting a nice, great soft light. Originally, you need to have gloves. Originally, we had this barn door open a little more, but as you can see, he's getting a little too much scratch right here. So that's when we just kind of took it off of him. And you have other stuff you can do. You don't want all this spill light that you're getting over here. You got black wrap that you wrap it with. I always try to leave some kind of vent if I can. I mean, if you need to wrap the whole thing, but leave it so that air can move around this thing. If it gets too hot, the lamp will probably just blow. But you don't want that in the middle of your shot. And the other thing that we were talking about maybe doing was either getting off the Lakeem that way or the cameras, because originally I was flaring them out. So we're gonna go ahead and stop down, and I'm gonna do another setup, but we're gonna take the 650, instead of taking it and balancing it to make a nice soft source, we're gonna shoot it directly at him. All right, so let's cut.